Welcome to Brett Ridgeway's Learning for Life Jam 2020, and this is Lesson 2, Part 2 of Mississippi Sawyer, where we will be exploring the chords and some things to do with the chords of the tune. Most hammer dulcimer players seem to like to play the melody. Very few, I have found out, really want to learn to play the backup. But playing the backup's a lot of fun. It gives you a lot more freedom and a lot more ways to do things on your instrument rather than being stuck to the melody. And we're going to show you that as we go through this lesson today. So in Part A of Mississippi Sawyer, we're going to follow a very common chord progression that we've talked about in the past. We used it in the second part of My Pretty Little Miss, which was you go from D to G, back to D, to A, and to D, which is your first chord, your fourth chord, your first chord, your fifth chord, and then your first chord. And we've talked about this. If you go to the playlists and to the helps, tips and helps section and look under a simple explanation of chords and keys, it will explain all that out if this is new to you. So in this, you're going to have two measures of D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two measures of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then two measures of D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One measure of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one measure of D, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this earlier part where you have two measures, instead of just staying right here, we can expand our chord. You can use the arpeggios. And you can also do that with the G. And then with your A, you don't have as much time with your A, but you want to explore that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the backup track so that you can hear it in place. And I'll take you through it both ways, very simply at first with just a tight arrangement, and then we will do it a second time with more of a expanding our range here on the instrument. So let's get started. You're going to have an 8-beat count in. 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 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 So let's do it one more time. You have an 8-beat count in, and I'm going to expand our boxes a little bit farther out. One, two, three, 4. So there you have Part A. I think you can get that. Part B, we're only having two chord changes. So it's going to be D and A. You're going to have two measures of D. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to have two measures of A. 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 measures of D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you're going to have 1 measure of A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D. So we're going to go through this the same way what we just did. You're going to have an 8-beat count in, and actually you're going to have an 8-beat count in, sorry about that, and the 8 beats are going to come at the end of part A, and I'll count you in the last 4. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4. D, 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 A, D, D, A, D. So we're going to do it one more time, and again 8-beat count in. I'll count you in the last 4, and then we will expand on the chords a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, work on the chords. You've got them up there. We're going to play it 3 times through, and I'm going to play it, I think I'm going to play the backup, and then the melody, and then the backup. And then we'll give you another practice track at the end of this that you can do whatever you want. And even when I'm playing, you can do whatever you want, but it might be easier to follow me. And just take your time on this. Don't get discouraged. I hopefully these are starting to sink in. This is our third song, and in each of these songs so far, especially either in the part A or the part B, you've only had 2 chord changes, but you should be getting more comfortable with this. So here we go from the very beginning. Backup, melody, backup. You can totally flip that if you want. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. might have noticed I messed up in there. You might not have noticed I messed up in there. What do you do when you mess up? You plug on through. You keep going. You don't stop. You don't try to fix it. You don't try to make it up. You just keep going. So we're going to give you one more practice track. This is all your own. Play it however you want. Use it where you can play both melody and the backup and have fun with this. Don't panic. Learn slow. Learn well. And let's try it one more time. So there you have it, and have fun with that. We will see you next week for our intermediate jam. The chords will not be up, so you want to make sure that this is memorized. Start trying to listen for the chord changes. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Thank your patrons, and God bless. Bye.